Oh. सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant, and may we not cavil at each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome all of you for the satsang of the Sri Sathya Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. First, we will do the study circle on the Gita Vahini, the one written by Swami, the commentary on the Bhagavad Gita dialogue between Arjuna and Lord Krishna. We are on chapter 9, and you might have gotten your emails. The electronic copy is chapter 9 on page 39. And on the hard copy, depending upon the edition, it is page 75. So we probably have different page, right, Nirupama? So the old edition. That is why I tell people can't quote the speaks, because the editions change, the pages change. So, but anyway, so this is chapter 9. I will start. Before I start the Gita Vahini discussion, so I was requested to share few words about our recent visit to Lima, Peru, because Anupam and Sajjata also were there. So it is wonderful to see the Sai devotees around the world singing his glories and sharing his stories. So always Swami's name sung in many languages, shared in many cultures and many countries. That is wonderful to always meet the devotees with the different backgrounds. So we had about 7 meetings. So one meeting was with the scientists. They were engineers. So they wanted to know how to incorporate human values into science. So I shared with them, there are the Saptarishis of modern times. Hope all of you know this is what Swami said. The Newton, Einstein, Heisenberg, Schrodinger, Dirac, de Broglie, and Fritjof Capra. How they incorporated the greatest scientists for the modern times, the human values. And then there also we had some talk about the environment and the human values. And then we had 2 sessions with the school, public school, their students. There are 2 groups, there are almost 200, but they were very unruly students. So you look at them, they'll be playing with each other, talking each other, no attention. So it was like, for me, what are we doing here? But amazed, among those, there are few who are focused on listening. So that is great, because they come for very poor background, broken families, poor values. So, but some of them could appreciate that. So that was a very interesting experience. Then we had a public meeting in a National Library auditorium, huge auditorium, where we could share about the state of how the mental well-being, the ease workshop, which Dr. Rama Devi is promoting, which is good for everybody knows that the importance of mental well-being. So I shared with them. It was very useful. And myself, it was learning that there are almost 1 billion people in the world mentally not well. Did you know that? So that means 1 in 12% of the world population as mentally they are not stable. 1 in 8. So 1 in 8, you see around, they may be having a problem. So just watch here. So we are, but anyway, we are Sai group is special. Here, maybe 1 in 1,000. So, but there in the world, and then in Latin America, they find is even 25% because whenever they have financial problems, home problems, and so it is even more. And even young adults, there was a high incidence. We shared that, and 25% in young adults, even teenagers, they have depression. And the suicide, you know how many people die every year with suicide? More than 700,000 people die, more than breast cancer and HIV. So that is why it's so important to have the mental well-being. First, we simply shared simple thing, how doing exercise on a regular basis. You don't need to go to gym and do special yoga. You can do that. There's nothing wrong. But simple walking, swimming. So those things, exercise. And we talked about an attitude. Is attitude, how we should have positive attitude that helps in life. And proper sleep, how we should all sleep properly. So just to have the healthy. And finally, eating properly. So just sattvic diet and don't have caffeine, drugs. So this very common daily rules, and also incorporating the human values. That was very good. This is for mostly general audience, where there is a mixture of both devotees, and there are people who don't attend Sai centers. I used to say non-Sai devotees. Now I don't use anymore, because how do I know who is the Sai devotee or not? People who don't commonly come for Sai gatherings. So, and then the nice thing is we met Sai devotees. There are 3 meetings. One, they had a 44th anniversary of the SSIO of Peru. So they had a beautiful meeting on Thursday evening that happened exactly last Thursday. So evening we had it. It's amazing. Those guys are bhajans. Oh, even though it's Spanish, we were transported into bliss. So then I was talking. Suddenly, after I started talking 10 minutes, people said, oh, making, hey. So I said, what happening? What is the problem here? So just thing. And they said, oh, Amrutam smell. So she was there, Anupam was there, so many people. The only person who didn't smell the Amrutam is who? Me. Because I never was into miracles, these kind of things. Swami, even before in Kodaikanal, he did that. It's not for you, because he knows reflection, yet bhavan, that bhav. So everybody felt that, they were very happy. So I said, okay. I said, Swami's presence is here. So we shared them. But the whole thing was very blissful experience to see those people with so much bhav, whether Sanskrit. Mostly they sang in Spanish, but even the Sanskrit bhajans which they sang, with so much love and devotion, I was really very much touched. And then they had a retreat one day, in the day before we left, on Saturday, the whole day, morning and evening. They had sharing, bhajans, question and answers in a person's lady that by name Janet. And she is never saw Swami. She never went to Puttaparthi, but she is so devoted. So she goes back and forth between Lima and Switzerland, and she says she saw Swami physically in flesh and blood, and getting instructions from Swami. There are people, even before I heard one time in Colombia that some lady from Venezuela, same thing they saw. So Swami still is showing his presence, not only in his omnipresence, but also in physical form. And there was an interesting one man we met, he's a young man, and he was translating our talks, mine, and upon. So this man, he also never went to Puttaparthi, but he read all 16 Vahinis of Swami. He is deep into Swami's teachings and Vedanta. He has many stories, but one interesting thing was, it appears he wanted to go to a vegetarian restaurant, right? And then, so he doesn't know where to go, but he had a feeling. So like a navigation Google map, so he was getting an aroma, take a right turn here, that's aroma follows, and then make a left turn there, and then make right turn there. So it goes on. He was not a map, but a smell. Yes, wherever the smell, the aroma goes, vibhuti or incense, I forgot. So he was going there, finally reached the restaurant. His name was Anand. He never knew that. And there was a vegetarian restaurant he wanted to have. So just what I'm telling is, even people who did not physically see Swami, they had so many experiences to show how Swami has his own way of touching people's heart. But there was one family I met which is very touching. His name is Dr. Walter Bravo, his family. He was a pediatrician, and he had one child. He has four children, but he has what, three children, three children. Yeah, so two sons and one daughter. So there, this first son. So he had a very severe blood disorder problem. He's a combination of, you can relate, thalassemia, sickle cell crisis. So he used to get, and there they predicted he will die within 4 or 5 years. So they were very sad, disappointed that how that could happen. So somebody said this Sai Baba in India will help. So they went to India. This is a long story, but I'll make it short. So then after a while, and this lady was praying there, very sincere Catholics. They're into, because most of the country in Peru and most of the Latin America is a Catholic country. So then she was praying to Lord Jesus, please help my son. So then when Swami called for the interview, Swami says, don't worry, I will take care of your son. He will cure. So they were very happy. Then Swami told that lady, you are praying for me. That is why I'm answering. She says, no, I was not praying for you. I said, I was praying to Jesus, because she thought she's separate. Because that time, till then, she was knowing Jesus separate. No, no, you were praying. No, no, I was not praying for you. I was praying to my Lord Jesus. Then Swami said, there's only one God. Swami said, just that's it, he let it go. Then when she came back, there were pictures of Jesus. When she came, that made her convinced more than what Swami said. They were all covered with vibhuti. So just when he came, there are lots of pictures. There's lots of stories. Actually, we can put it in our archive, Eternal Companion, one of the articles. So they have, and then this boy who was supposed to die in 4 or 5 years, he lived till the age of 29. And they went on selling so many miracles in this Bravo family. Actually, Leonardo Gutta told me to meet them when I go there. So it was good we met them. So the main thing I want to share, how Swami's love as message has touched so many parts of the world. That is wonderful to see. So I don't know, we'll have enough just because we said Gita, we need to keep up our words. So I will just say just a couple of a few things in about Gita Vahini. So, and then we have a pleasant surprise for you. Aravind Balasubramaniam is here. He will share some nice stories about Swami and message from Swami. So where did we end? So we are going to start page 39 in the soft copy, chapter 9, page 75 on the hard copy here, this particular edition. So the main emphasis was, we have been talking all along. Swami, I don't know, he spent so much, almost so many pages, 5-6 pages are covered just on this Varna system. So Swami gave a lot of importance, because most of the people are confused about the Varna system. They think a caste system. That is why they denounced it. I said, because that is the bane of Indians, and they have this caste system. Swami says nothing. This is created by God. What is created by God cannot be wrong. And in the Purusha Suktam, it is said, actually, whole universe, that is, God sacrificed himself, whole body of the Lord, into this whole universe in different ways. But even in the caste, says, if you remember, head is Brahmanas, and shoulders is Kshatriyas, thighs is Vaishyas, and feet is Shudras. Because everybody, you divide anything, you think it is, in the world you can see one of them, you should fit into one of those criteria. So that means you are just unskilled laborer doing gardening or any other handyman job, plumbing, whatever it is. Or it could be a warrior fighting for the country or protecting the country. or you are a great thinker thinking about the Lord all the time, Brahmin, or you are an entrepreneur doing business or exchange, you will fall into one of those categories. So this is God created, because depending upon these very two things people miss. Guna karma vibhagayo. He says, I created this depending upon your guna attitude and your action. He didn't say by birth, I created you to be a Brahmin or a Kshatriya or a Vaishya or Shudra. Depending upon your actions and attitude. So you're always in the contemplation of the Lord, thinking about highest truths and spreading, then you're a Brahmin. It doesn't mean where you are born. And you're always, even though you're a Brahmin family, you are enterprising how to make business, how to make more profit, then you're a businessman. So it is depending upon your aptitude and your actions you are decide. So don't, Swami, the thing is, people give different importance to these things. So Brahmins are superior because thinking, Shudras because they are feet, they are less. But as I repeatedly said, what do you worship? Do you worship Swami's face, or most of the places we put feet, like highest importance visit feet. And that's the first message of Swami, Manasa Bhajare Guru Charanam, feet. So there is, each one has its own importance. That is one clarification to the importance, Swami. Not by birth your Varna is decided, by your aptitude and by your action. Second thing is, it is mainly the purpose of it is to play your role in each. Not one is higher, one is lower. We try to think somebody is lower, somebody is higher, depending upon, even now. So if you are a doctor or a lawyer, I think it's a great. If you are a gardener, yeah, there's a gardener or something. It's not. Each one, even garbage disposal people have a role. That's why one time I shared in New York, they had a strike of the garbage workers. The whole city was stinking, so they could not take it. So everybody has a role to play. So we need to, dignity of labor. We need to respect each one for the role they have. That is the two important messages. So you can do it for anything, add 5 minutes, and then we can have Aravind share. Okay, then maybe we can have Aravind sugar doll. Everybody likes sugar dolls.
A sugar doll is sweet all over. Break off its head and eat it. It is sweet. Break off a leg and eat it. It is as sweet as the head. Then how can the Varnas, which are the limbs of the self-same divinity, be pronounced higher or lower? Limbs are different, but the very same red blood flows in all and animates all. There is no special variety for the hand or leg or face. The system of Varnas is ordained by the Vedas, and so there can be no injustice in it. It is not an artifice invented by man. So those who try to create differences and hatred by their inconsiderate remarks about it are only exhibiting their ignorance. It looks as if those people who argue that the abolition of the Varna system will bring about human welfare are the only ones anxious to promote human welfare. They believe that those who consider the system to be beneficial are really eager to promote the downfall of the human society. Of course, both are delusions. But this much is true. Those who support the Varnas are really more interested in the promotion of human welfare. The others think that if Varna goes, they will be saving the country. That is a deluded belief. If only virtues and faults are analyzed carefully and without prejudice, there will be an end to this uninformed campaign of hatred and enmity. Then There will be a great change in the attitude of people towards the Varna system. If hatred increases, it will not benefit anyone. To pursue the ideal of all are equal is like running after the mirage to slake one's thirst. It will only breed discontent. The rulers must now assemble and consult the representatives of the people, namely the pundits and experienced elders, and discuss the value of this ancient system of social organization. Instead, if they just decide on the basis of external forms and features that there is some poison in this and run into panic, that will only reveal their ignorance. The rulers as well as the pundits both have the happiness of the people at heart. Why? This Varna system originated with that very end in view. It has led to comments because it was not practiced on the continued counsels of the wise. Whenever I think about the Varna system, I think it goes back to the analogy of a hospital system where you have, even though people think there is a hierarchy, there really isn't. Everybody has an equal role and equal importance in how the hospital runs. I recently started participating in a peer support group for clinician wellness. And so we have meetings every other month. And the last meeting they had, they called it Workers from Behind the Scenes. And it was all the folks who worked in housekeeping and who worked in some of the IT and did a lot of those kinds of things, accounting, all the behind the scenes things. And they talked about their experience during the pandemic. Because I think we heard a lot from clinicians, physicians, nurses, but we really didn't hear a lot from the people who were truly, truly in the trenches during that time. So they shared their experiences as well. And I think one of the physicians who happened to be infectious disease said to the person that works in housekeeping, "You truly are infection control." So when I think about this, I think about how important it is that everybody in a hospital, we have our assigned roles, but nobody's more important, because for someone who comes into a hospital to remain healthy or get healthy, obviously you have the doctors that write orders and sort of do the evaluation. You have nurses that are actually doing the hands-on care. You also have somebody sitting at the front desk who is processing all of the orders. You have the people from housekeeping who are keeping everything clean so that you don't spread more infection. So it's a sort of it's like a village almost, but everybody sort of has their role. And I think when I think about Varnas, it's sort of the way it's explained here. It's the same way, especially when Lord Krishna describes it as, Brahmins being the face, the Kshatriyas being the like the kind of the trunk, and the Vaishyas being the legs, and then the Shudras being the feet of the human body. And every part is important, and every part has an important role in how that human body acts. It's just not, there's nothing that's more important than the other.
Yeah, that is the main thing we need to take home messages. By birth, you are not what that caste is, by your actions and aptitude. Second thing is nothing higher or lower. Swami was the example. I saw his Swami over decades. Those people think he gives importance to those politicians or wealthy, powerful people. I've seen him so many times when I was with Kodaikanal and Vrindavan. He says, "Did you feed the drivers?" It wants to take care of the drivers. Somebody is cooking, he will go into the place where they're cooking and he takes care of the cooks. The janitors, he takes care. And even people in the volunteer Sevadal, they're from people from Orissa. So they used to, of all the things, lowest thing, where the cleaning the lavatories, they used to take. And Swami was very fond of them, and he said they are doing the greatest service. So Swami was never into that. He showed by his action how he really respected everybody for what they do. It is not only just in the hospital, it's not just the doctors, everybody. So like that, we need to respect everybody's role in the society. That's what it is.